So this is chokecherry syrup, and this is syrup that we canned last year, 2017. Anyways, in this video, I'm going to show you how to make chokecherry syrup, from picking it all the way to the end process of canning it and boiling the jars. Anyways, the chokecherry syrup is so tasty, and if you ever remember Coca-Cola Wild Cherry, this is the same flavoring they used in Coca-Cola Wild Cherry. Anyways, enjoy the video. So here it is, it's August 8th in the Front Range of Colorado, and these are chokecherries. They're quite astringent. If you try and eat them raw, they're very, very bitter. You have to cook them and process them, and they make a most wonderful syrup or jam or jelly. I'm going to go ahead and pick a bunch of them and process them, and then I'll show you what the results look like. So I just finished about 2.5 hours of picking, and it was a gallon Ziploc bag that was almost full. And this is a cookie sheet that I have, and they're laid out on it. And you can see it's pretty deep in chokecherries. Now what I need to do is go through and remove like leaves and tedious work of removing stems, and then finding any little bad ones in here, like these little dried up ones, and throwing them out. And then we'll start actually cooking this stuff down in a pot. That'll be the next step after cleaning this up. So, on to the next step, and that's removing all these little stems and cleaning this stuff up. Processing the chokecherries to remove the stems. This is what half of it looks like right now. And gotta go through and remove all the stems from all of these. And then remove all the bad ones. Okay, so this pot is full to maybe an inch below the edge of the rim of these destemmed plain chokecherries. And the next thing I'll do is, I have a pitcher of purified water here. It's just through the RO system. And what I'm going to do is just fill the pot with the chokecherries just slightly above the chokecherries. Don't want them too deep in there. So now we're about maybe half an inch from the rim with the water. And then what we're going to do is we're going to turn on the stove top, and we're going to boil this for about 30 minutes. And then the next step, we'll take all these out and run them through a sieve into another pot, and then we'll continue processing from there. So as it's boiling, or starting to boil right now, I'm just going through and stirring. And every now and then you'll find a stem that you missed, and I'll just pick it out with a pair of tweezers. And that's what we got there, just a few of them that I found. And as it starts to boil more and more, I'm going to turn the temperature down a little bit on the stovetop. And then we'll just let it boil for a good 30 minutes, and it'll be good. So it's been boiling. I probably did about 45 minutes on it. And you can tell when it's done because most of the chokecherries have kind of split. So it makes it a lot easier to run through the sieve now. And that's going to be the next step of the process. So for this part of the process, I just take a mixing bowl and a sieve that fits approximately over the top of the mixing bowl. And then I take a ladle and just start scooping the chokecherries into this. And then I run them around with the ladle and then smash them into this sieve. And then I just stick them back in the pot again and just keep running them through until I'm pretty much just left with seeds and just a little bit of material. So let me do a few of these. I'm going to set up the tripod so you can watch a little bit of it. Okay, so I'm just fogging up the camera a little bit because the stuff's hot, but this is all I'm doing is just pressing down into the sieve with the back of the ladle and just rolling the material around. And this gets all of the good innards of these chokecherries, minus the seeds and minus a lot of the flesh, through the sieve. And then I just dump it right back into the pot and just let it soak up some of that juice that's in the pot, and just keep processing it this way. And when I get towards the end, I'll show you what I do at the end. Because what I'll do is I'll add a little bit more water to the paste that's left at the end with all the seeds. And that way I can try and scavenge as much of this juice out of these chokecherries as I can. But I'm going to process the whole pot here, and that's going to take probably a good 20-30 minutes, so I'm not going to make you watch all that. So I've run a lot of this through the sieve already, and then when I'm done with what I think is the majority of the stuff that's in here, just cast it off into another pot, which I have set here. And what I'm going to do is take what's left in here, this mash of material, and then I'll finish filling this up with material, but I'm going to take some of the filtered water from the RO system and just dump it in here, just a little bit. And then I'm going to reheat this just to try and get all of the good juice out of here. Because there's a lot of work to do this, so just wasting juice that you can recover is just really not worth wasting. It's worth just doing this little bit of extra recovery to get the extra juice out of here. Alright, so this is the leftover from mashing it through the sieve, and what I've done is just added enough water to kind of make it a little juicy, and then I'm reheating it right now. And we're just going to let it heat up a little bit, try and get the remaining juice out of here. You don't have to heat it a whole lot, I just heat it to try and make it warm. Alright, so I'm done heating it, and since this stuff's already been mashed through the sieve, I'm just pouring it into the sieve, and we're just going to let it sit there and drain. So I'm going to just sit there and pour out. Let it sit there for a few minutes, and then I'll take a wooden spoon and just try and mash all the juice out of it. Okay, so this is the juice that we extracted from the chokecherries, and what I'm going to do is pour it back into this pot, and then measure how much is in this pot, and then pour it back into the other pot, because then we have to pour that much sugar into the pot. So I'm also straining it just in case something, one of the seeds or some of the skin got into the pot while we were working with it. There's a lot of, I don't know what you want to call it, but it's the inside of the chokecherries that have been mashed through the sieve. So we know it's basically about a finger's depth below the rim, and that's how much sugar we're going to put into this pot after we pour this back into the other pot. So we're going to put in about that much sugar in there. Alright, so I filled the empty pot up to about the line where the syrup was at, or not the syrup, the juice. And then we're just going to pour, well, let me get this there. Pour the juice back into the sugar. And what's an interesting thing is there's that much sugar in the pot, but we're going to put an equal amount of liquid into the pot. And then the sugar will dissolve into the liquid. Hard to work around the camera. there was one piece of skin in there. Another piece there. Don't want that in our syrup. So we're going to turn the heat back on the oven, about medium, the stovetop, and we're just going to slowly heat this mixture and stir the sugar in. And we'll bring this to a full rolling boil and let it boil for 5 or 10 minutes at a full rolling boil, and then it'll be ready for canning. So next time you'll see it is when it's boiling. I don't know if I mentioned it, but you should constantly stir the syrup, because if there's any solid sugar on the bottom while you're heating it, you can end up burning the whole batch, and that would just waste so much of your time. But just keep stirring it until it boils. So we're at a rolling boil now, and been boiling for a while. I've removed it from the heat, and in the meantime, I got the big pot for putting the glass jars in full of water, and it's on high, and it's been going for about 20 minutes. And trying to get this water to boil so that when we're ready to put this syrup in the jars, it's ready to go. So we're going to can this in half-pint jars, and I have a nice canning funnel here. And you just take and scoop out the hot syrup into the jars. And you leave about a little more than half an inch at the top of the jar. Before you put the lid on. And I'm just going to continue going through this pot and then filling these jars. Okay, so after you put the syrup in the jars, load it onto the canning rack. These guys are a little warm, so you gotta be quick and careful with them, not burn yourself. This is the first set. These are going to be half pints. The next set will be 1 pint jars. The half pints we usually give away as gifts, so that's why we do the half pint jars. And then you load it into the pot, let it get to a full boil, and let it sit in there for 15 minutes after a full boil. And then you let them cool down, make sure all the jars have snapped in place with the little tops that pop on them. And if you have a loose jar lid, you can basically take that jar apart and then clean the lid, and then you have to reboil it. But pretty much that's the steps to making chokecherry syrup. Do a batch of jam sometime in the future. Anyways, thanks for watching. Hope this video helped you if you want to make chokecherry syrup. If you liked the video, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe.